Hello, everybody. Ali Duzette here, and welcome to day 2 of our Taking Out the Trash challenge. If you don't know what that is, go check out the playlist here on YouTube. But basically, we're writing down anything, 3 pages worth of anything per day for 30 consecutive days. We just started, so hop along. But when you do that, you will find that you clear out the backlog of your brain and you clear out some of your brain fog. You're going to be able to think more fast and more clearly, and your life is going to get a lot easier after you start processing this backlog of stuff that you've got locked up in your mind. So if you've already started doing this challenge, I would love to hear how it's going for you. Maybe you've already seen some forward motion. If so, I would love to read it in a comment. You can go post about it in my Facebook group, Intuitive Healing with Ali Duzette. Today, I wanted to talk about a good question that I got on Facebook. Let me find that question. Okay, it says, hey, this might be a really dumb question. No such thing as a dumb question. But what is a good energetic protocol to detox yourself from loads of other people's stuff? I feel like a walking magnet picking up stuff from people, and I thought I remembered there might be a session for this or something like that, related to getting other people's energetic stuff out of your system, but I can't find it. Can you remind me? Would that be under the boundaries session or something else? Specifically related to detoxing stuff that's already there. Okay, I love this question and I wanted to talk about it because I feel like there's actually a lot more here than the poster may have originally realized. Okay, let's talk about the nature of energy and the nature of taking on other people's gunk, okay? We all do it. All of us take on other people's stuff from time to time, unless you have very, very incredible boundaries. But most people don't. We're just not born with fabulous boundaries. If you think of an infant kind of has no boundaries at all. An infant cannot defend itself. An infant needs other people to basically violate boundaries all the time, right? The baby doesn't want to sleep. Well, too bad. Babies have to sleep. The baby, doesn't want a diaper change. Well, sorry, this is a hygiene issue and you need a diaper change. Oh, you don't want to be buckled into your car seat? Sorry, you got to be buckled into your car seat. So every human being goes from a default condition of not even being able to enforce a boundary, and it's not even really safe to have a baby's boundaries fully enforced, right? Like, again, let's talk about the car seat issue. Gall, if all my kids got to have their druthers, no one would ever have a seatbelt on, but like, too bad for them. I'm the mom and they're going to wear their seatbelts. So that's how it goes. But we all go from this state of helplessness to maturing into adults who then have to decide on what our boundaries are. And when we talk about boundaries, a lot of times people talk about them in terms of, well, if you do this, then I'm going to do that, and we make these kind of rules. And it's like, I'm going to set a rule that you have to obey to honor me. And that is not really what I'm talking about here, because on top of, the rules that we're all dealing with in our interactions with each other, we also have our energy fields, okay? And that's what this woman is talking about here. She feels like her energy field is picking up other people's energies and she's having trouble letting go of it. The secret is that even if you clear out the backlog of other people's energy from your energy field, if you are not also engaging in healthy energetic boundaries, you're just going to pick up even more stuff. You're going to clear out the backlog just to open up space for more. So when it comes time to clean out the backlog of other people's junk that we have internalized, it's not enough just to detox what's already there. And honestly, I wouldn't even make that the first step. The first step is not really to detox what you've already got going on. The first step is to teach your body that it is no longer appropriate or necessary or needed or wanted for you to be taking on other people's stuff. Easier said than done, okay? There's 2 things that I need to talk about with this, but we'll just have to pick an order and stick with it. Why is it so important that we start by teaching our body better boundaries? Because if we don't, then any backlog that we clear out, it's just going to be immediately replaced. You're not going to feel that good for that long until you fix the boundaries. If you fix the boundaries first and then clear it out, it just makes so much more sense. If you think of this like a dam, I mean like a literal dam. So imagine a bunch of water, and then we have, the big dam over here is of everybody's feelings. You go out into this world and it's all this over here, and then you have just this tiny little canal that comes off of the dam. But unfortunately, there's no boundary. And so you're just getting flooded. If you try and clear out the flood without putting up that dam in between, that boundary, it's not, you are going to clear stuff out, but it's not really going to help you. It's not going to be very effective. The important thing is to put up the boundary first and then take care of what you've already slurped off of other people. Okay. But the real issue is why do our bodies and our energy fields feel that it is so important to be taking on other people's crap? Why is it that we do this? Okay, that is the real underlying question, because hopefully it can make sense that before you start clearing out the backlog that you're carrying of other people's stuff, you have to have a boundary, or else you're just going to take on more. Hopefully that makes sense. But before you can put such a boundary in, you need to be willing to have that boundary. And most people's energy fields are just like not that willing to have that boundary without some serious internal work first. Why? Because we feel a bunch of feelings that let us end up in this space where we believe we deserve this. Okay. Sometimes it's an issue of that we think we're helping, we're rescuing the people around us, like they can't handle their feelings. I'd better take it on. They can't handle their anger. I better take it on. I'm going to help them. I'm going to process it for them. It's not helping them. It's shielding them from their own darkness so that they never have to face it and change it. Okay. That's not helpful. It makes it so that they never hit their true rock bottom, which is what people need to do. We all need to hit that point where we realize this does not work and I need to change. That's a really critical part of the human experience. And when we are taking on other people's trauma, we're not letting them experience that experience. Like, that's not a present. That's the worst. It's not kind. It feels like a kindness because hurting hurts. But one of the greatest kindnesses we can do is actually let people experience the consequences of their actions and their belief programming so that they can eventually realize, like, this does not serve me. And now I am motivated to change it. Okay, so we need to internalize this. It's easy to say, I know that if I take on other people's energies, it's a rescuing move that is not really healthy and it doesn't serve either of us. But it's another thing to fully internalize that and actually stop doing it, right? Sometimes we feel like we deserve to take it on. Like, I'm such a much worse person than that person. My energy field will just take on their stuff so they don't have to. Sometimes it's a self-defensive mechanism, where we sit there, and this happens a lot with abusers, where the abused will actually take on the emotions of the abuser. Because if the abuser is really angry and that abuser might take it out on the abused, it's kind of safer for the abused energy field to take on that anger so that the abuser doesn't channel it into like violence or something. But then what happens? The abused just took on the energy of anger towards the abused. And so they're going to be generating this huge amount of self-anger. Not productive, not kind. Maybe it has spared them from some physical situations and maybe not. But these are just some examples of why our systems feel so driven to take on other people's energies when they do. Okay, it can be that martyrdom rescue-y thing. It can be a self-defense mechanism. But no matter what it is, it's never really healthy to do that. And we always need to be looking within and finding the parts of us that are wrapped up in that kind of drama triangle so that we can get out of that space and just feel total peace with allowing ourselves to experience our own emotions and other people to experience their emotions. It's safe for both parties to experience their emotions. I say that, and I know that sometimes it doesn't feel that way, especially in like severe and extreme situations where people are making threats on life of themselves or other people. It can be like, oh no, this is not safe. I've got to take on their emotions. And a lot of people do this if they have a loved one who is making threats against life. They'll take on some of that person's emotions, and then both parties are spiraling and nobody really gets saved. And then both parties are just full of junky energy, and the person making all the threats is not motivated. They're not going to be able to hit the rock bottom because the other person has taken on a part of the trauma, and they never are able to get to the point where they need to get so that they can change their lives. Okay, I hope that this is making sense. When we're trying to clear out the backlog of other people's junk, that's a very noble quest. Step 1 is better boundaries, which means that step 0 has to be retraining ourselves to accept better boundaries. Okay. We need to let go of the part of ourselves that feels guilt, that feels like we deserve. I mean, not all guilt, guilt is an emotion like any other emotion, and it exists because it has a useful purpose, but we should not guilt ourselves into taking on other people's emotions. That's what I mean. We need to clear that kind of guilt that drives us to take on other people's stuff that is not even ours. We need to clear our victim-y martyr side that is feeling like, oh, I'm not worth it. That person's better than me. I'll just take on their traumas so that they don't have to. We get to clear out that oh my gosh, what's the word for it? It's like a disorder, but it's not a disorder. The savior complex, where we have to like go save other people. Like, we don't have to save them. That's what God is for. That's what Jesus is for. That is not what we are for. We are to experience our own experience and allow other people to experience their experience. And that's like a big part of the point, is agency, us experiencing our own agency, allowing other people to experience their agency, allowing all of us to experience our own choices. We don't have to save anybody, and we also can't. You can't save anyone. You cannot do that. It's just not possible. We can wear ourselves out and try, but it won't work. It can't work, because the only person that can really save another person is our creator, So we get to release the part of ourselves that says, if I just bend over backwards for my son who needs rehab, then he'll get it together. It's up to me. It's not up to you. There is nothing that you can really do besides turn this situation over to our creator. So we need to like fully embody this and stop trying to save other people. Stop trying to serve other people. Stop guilt tripping ourselves into taking on other people's emotions. And we need to stop self-protecting by taking on other people's emotions as well, which, now that I'm talking about it, I have like a lot to say about that, but maybe I'll save it for another day. Self-defense. I write about it in this book, Magnetic Femininity, especially when it comes to feminine energy. When we are trying to defend ourselves as women, it kind of kills the defensive instinct in men. Why would they defend you if you can defend yourself? Okay. I feel that the more that we release our own need to self-defend, the more God can step up to defend us for us. And that is a really great thing. Oh my gosh, my kid's been leaving all the doors open. So if you can see all the flies around, it's so annoying. I pay them 5 cents a fly, so 20 flies for $1. And I don't know, they're earning their money around here. Okay, so let's talk about what we can reasonably do about all the stuff that I've been talking about. The morning pages that we're doing today are going to be a really great step that you can just do. You can just do them right this minute. You can write about why you take on other people's feelings. The morning pages are not necessarily meant to have a journaling prompt, but if you wanted a prompt for today, go ahead and write about why you feel driven to save other people or to protect yourself by taking on other people's emotions. Ask yourself, what is it in me that feels like it's so appropriate and okay for me to take on other people's feelings, when that's never okay. We all get to process our own feelings, and that's like this beautiful gift, So, okay, hey honey, we're not going to do that right now. Just give me a minute. We're not going to do that right now. Parenthood. Okay. But I wanted to show you a couple of sessions that I think will help. This is at allyduzetclasses.com. And this is the first one that came to my mind, was the energy field healing. The energy field is that egg of space that goes all the way around you, about 3 feet in every direction. It's your bubble. And when people are in your bubble, or even just staring at your bubble, you can feel it, and it feels icky and you don't like it. Healing your energy field will help clear out other people's junk that is stuck inside of your energy field. So that is one of the first things that came to my mind about this. Now, I have a guilt session that I also think is going to be really helpful if you are a person who guilt trips yourself into taking on other people's energies on a subconscious level. This session may help you kind of snap out of that. Now, the boundaries sessions, I have 2 of them right now. Healing your boundaries, this one should be free. Let's double check it. Pick your price point. Yeah, $0. Yeah, that's on purpose there. It was previously a totally free session, but I made an option so that you can pay for it if you want to. But this is a really great free session that I'm going to strongly recommend. And my 30 days of boundaries challenge is also really good. This is the paid version that comes with some additional sessions from me, but I did that just like this on YouTube, where you can actually just watch it on YouTube. The playlist is here on YouTube, and going through those exercises for the 30 days of boundaries challenge can help you rewire your boundaries so that you can start clearing everything out. When it comes to actually clearing everything out that you've taken on from other people, honestly, any session in here is going to be helpful, because if you're dealing with debt energy that you've absorbed from somebody else, or clutter energy that's from somebody else, all of these sessions, you can set the intention, this is going to help me clear out stuff that I've absorbed from other people, and it will help you with that. But again, the first step is going to be fixing your boundaries and fixing the part of yourself that is feeling like it's okay to not have those solid energetic boundaries that allow all of us to experience our own experience. Sometimes we are also the ones that are kind of leaking our energy out onto other people, and they're having to carry our emotional burden. And sometimes it's a two-way street where we're taking on other people's stuff and other people are taking on our stuff. And in that case, I'm going to definitely recommend the free foundational sessions, which I recommend for anybody who hasn't done any of my stuff before anyway. These are the best ones to start with, because they will help everything else be way more effective and efficient. But that one especially includes one called Calling Back Your Power, which is going to kind of call back the stuff that belongs to you back to you. And that will be very powerful for your boundaries. The other one that comes into my mind right now is let's see. Oh no, it's not here. Let's see. HIJKL. It's the Life Force Energy Systems series. This is a bigger series, but a lot of times when we are sharing emotions with other people on an energetic level, it's because our life force energy systems are not functioning very well. And this series will help recalibrate your life force energy so that it's functional, and so that you don't feel the need to be unhealthily latched to other people's energy fields anymore. When this is healed, when this is in a healed space, a lot of people have reported that it actually is really helpful for depression, which kind of surprised me. It was not a depression series, but that's the thing that I hear over and over from people that give that one a chance, is that they thought they were in it to help their relationships and to become less emotionally codependent. And what they found was that their longstanding depression melted away overnight. So that is the one that I will recommend for that kind of situation. Anyway, do your journaling pages today. Thank you for hanging out, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow.